to bear the burden that sometimes comes with living this thing called life. Am I wise enough to make the right decision when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God.
You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God.
You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Let me tell you, I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Cat Williams, you show up as the goddess you are every day. Amen. We are so blessed with this amazing music. Our band, Dave, Richard, Joel, and Pete, and Kat, would you show them your love and appreciation? Yes, thank you for being here this morning. Welcome to this absolutely glorious day. Hasn't it been beautiful? I mean, it's always beautiful, but sometimes it's beautiful, beautiful. So thank you for being here this morning. You know, here at Unity, we come from many different walks of life, different religious or spiritual traditions, but what brings us together is love and the realization that all of life is sacred and here to be an expression and a champion for that. This year, our call to action, the theme, the way we're sharing this together is right here. Would you join me? We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, and socially responsive. With that, I invite you to join in an opening prayer. As we turn our awareness within, we do so this morning in the spirit of gratitude. There is that within us which recognizes itself in all that is. It's the root of the understanding of namaste. That within me that recognizes the same in you bows in recognition that we are an expression of all that is. Today we open to what it is to know ourselves more fully as pure essence, pure presence, to know one another, and not simply to have knowledge of it, but to have an embodiment, to be an incarnation of all that we're created to be. For the sacred time of seeking and finding together, to bless and to be blessed, we're truly grateful. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. I invite you to stand as you're able and join in our opening song that says, I'm a light.
World, in this world, in this world, on in this world, I am alive. I am alive. I am alive. I am alive in this world, on in this world, in this world, in this world. This is the time. This is the place. Let it shine. Let it shine. I see the joy. I see the joy. I see the joy. I see the joy in this world, in this world, in this world, in this world. I see the joy, I see the joy, I see the joy, I see the joy in this world, in this world, in this world, whoa, in this world. This is the time, this is the time, this is the place, this is the place. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let it shine. I'm living love every day. I'm living love every day. I'm living love every day. I'm spreading peace along the way. Gonna have my peace along the way. Spreading peace along the way. Let it peace along the way. Right time, right time, right place, right place. Living love every day. Every day gonna live in love. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light in this world. On in this world. In this world. On in this world. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light in this world. On in this world. In this world. On in this world. This is the time. This is the place. This is the place. Let it shine. Don't let it shine. Let it shine. Don't let it shine. This is the time. This is the time. This is the place. This is the place. Let it shine. Yeah. Let it shine. Yeah. So would you turn to those around you and say, you are shining pretty brightly this morning. Welcome. Welcome this morning. You're shining. Tom. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Let me hear you now. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God you are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God you are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Give it to me loud. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place
where God
You are
lives.
the
Moves and breathes and has
We
its
are the
being.
place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. One more time. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Yeah.
You are that place. Wow, you sound beautiful today. Thank you for being here. This is the time in our service where we get to acknowledge our young people. We have programs for our nursery to Unitot in both services, but it's here at the second service that we have a Sunday school program. So if you have nursery age through our older children, we have a Sunday school program that will join those in the back. Starting this fall, we'll be kicking off a teen program. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. But as our young people are heading over, I mean, can we just pause for the adorableness? It's just the absolute. Reverend Gabby, you are just adorable. So, yeah. So if you would rub your hands for Reverend Gabby and those in the back, are from the nursery to any of our older children and all in between, each and every one of you, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Have a wonderful Sunday school experience today. Thank you. We'd also like to acknowledge the adorableness in you, especially if you are here for the first time today or perhaps the first time in a very long time. If you just simply raise your hand and hold it up for a moment. Just hold your hand up for a moment if you're new or haven't been in a while, and we'll extend one of these connections cards to you. There's some over here, Ruth. You all may have to lovingly point to where you saw a hand go up. But if you hold your hand up, we'll get one of these cards to you. There's a red heart attached, and if you would like to wear that heart, it will allow us to acknowledge you as a newcomer and make a special, take a special opportunity to welcome you. There's a little information welcome center where you can drop off these cards. You can pick up packets of information. Just stop by if you have any questions. But we welcome each and every one of you. We also, this is where we pause. If you would turn to our live stream and just give them a wave. We want to thank you that are joining us right now by live stream, and those of you that may join us sometime later in the future. To each and every one, wherever you are, we extend this blessing that says, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. We thank you for being here. Reverend Christy and Reverend Laura, who are both at the heart of this ministry, have some announcements to share with you this morning. Thank you both.
Good morning, everyone. Just want to remind you that we are collecting right now, at least for a couple more days, and then we'll deliver the food. But food for children, which is like not self-opening, that would be magic. But easily open, how's that? So the kids on their own can open their little snacks and have some food throughout the day. So that's what we're collecting. And magic, throw some magic in there as well. And just to give you a heads up for August, our community outreach is going to be focusing on back to school. So we will be collecting knapsacks and all kinds of school supplies. So you can start bringing those in as well. There's some really great sales going on around.
In a little while, I'll have the pleasure of introducing you to our guest speaker this morning, Penney Peirce. But this is just a reminder that not only is Penney with us for this service today, but she's doing a workshop afterwards from 1:30 to 3:30. It's offered on a sliding scale of $20 to $40 donation. We also have several of her books for sale, and she's outside to sign them. So we hope that you'll enjoy the service with Penney today, but also think about staying afterwards for the workshop.
For sure. And then I just want to remind you to please mark your calendars for Sunday, August 18th. We will have one combined service at 10:30, and that will be followed by our quarterly town hall meeting where where we will have updates on all the amazing, really cool things happening with this expanding community.
We also have an evening with the angels coming up. Stephanie Barton will be here on the 16th, I believe it is. Yes, Friday, August 16th. So we all welcome you to come and enjoy her intuition and wisdom that she has to offer. And I also want to draw your attention. In your bulletin, you have 2 inserts today. One of them is green. The green insert includes a lot of things going on with our youth program. We're going to have a fall festival for our families on September 15th following the second service, where there'll be food and fun for all the kids. And we are looking for people right now. You don't have to have a kid or be a kid to help plan and lead that. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, maybe you don't want to be here every Sunday helping to teach, but you'd kind of like to help with the program. On August 19th, which is a Sunday, or Monday, we'll be in the back cleaning up our rooms and getting ready for a new fall. And we'll be having 2 classes this fall, assuming we find the great leadership that we know is present for those 2 classes. And there's some other information there too about the youth. And on the back, all the amazing things that are going on this fall. Well, some of the amazing things that are going on this fall.
So if you have any questions about anything, just see me following today's service. And just a reminder that this is a very auspicious year for us. We are celebrating 70 years as a community. And that is phenomenal, especially for a spiritual community. And we're doing such great work in the world. And to celebrate that, I want to invite you to watch this clip, because we have somebody joining us to help us celebrate.
Hello, dear Unity friends. I send you greetings from India and look forward to visiting you and sharing with you some messages of love and peace from my grandfather. We need it very importantly now in our country, with unscrupulous politicians spreading hate and prejudice. And I think it's time that we reverse the course and bring about love and respect for each other. And I'm looking forward eagerly to come and share with all of you. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'll see you soon.
That is Gandhi's grandson, Dr. Arun Gandhi, who will be joining us in October 5th and 6th, to help us celebrate our 70 years. He's focused his work on peace and nonviolent communication, and just really an inspiration to the world, and following in his own way, standing on the shoulders of his grandfather there with his teachings. And we are delighted to have him here. And I would like to introduce Reverend Laura Collins for our inspirational reading.
Thank you. The week that Arun Gandhi is here also happens to be the 150th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. So I mentioned to you earlier that Penney Peirce is going to be here as our speaker this morning and also as our workshop leader this afternoon. Penney is an early pioneer in the intuition development movement. She's known for a common sense approach to spirituality and development of expanded human capacities. She's an author, a lecturer, a counselor, and a trainer. And Penney travels and works around the world. She's been in South Africa, Japan, South America, all across the US and Europe. And she's worked with business leaders and authors and celebrities and scientists and psychologists and other consultants and trainers, as well as just ordinary people like us. Well, maybe I should say like me. I don't know about y'all. So we're really blessed this morning to have her, a respected visionary and clairvoyant empath, helping us open new pathways of consciousness and personal transformation. And I'm going to do a reading now from one of her books, which is for sale out here, called Transparency: Seeing Through to Our Expanded Human Capacity. This is entitled No More Story. No more story. No more chronology. where I lived, what I did, how I learned. Just a recitation now. Perhaps when I die, I'll still have a life review, but maybe I won't need it. I'm feeling my mistakes and their value, and how my stiffness and softness affected others, and how my unvoiced judgments carried across like clubs, and how my sweetness and clarity healed in unseen ways, and how the love I could not face because it felt so excruciating was how big I really am. Every time I cried because my heart stirred and opened, every sudden catch in my flow because an unexpected cruelty occurred, no matter how subtle. These earthly responses all come from who I am. No story needed. Now I am, as always, a pure simplicity of existence, an open eye, seeing it all, an emotional body, including every possible feeling nuance, a lit up field of consciousness that forgives and creates and provides and joins and leaves. I am this point of view and so many other perspectives that I find so mesmerizing and lovable. Without a description that I try to possess, I am so relaxed. And right in this moment, when I know this, I also know how I am cared for, provided for, how I fit in the long story of humankind, weaving like one colored thread throughout in a crazy wisdom way, zigzagging and spiraling, reversing and unfolding. What fun, this flow that is finished and not yet finished in this timeless moment.
am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race, as I'm defined. I am light. I am light. I am light.
Sing it with us.
I am light. 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 I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all inside. I am light, I am light, I am light. 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 I am light.
Yeah. Thank you. Come on up, Penny. Reverend Laura shared the introduction, but Penny Peirce was out in California working with, how many of you knew Barbara Marx or know of Barbara Marx Hubbard? They were working together. Penny had a television show, is considered a pioneer in consciousness, and is here to share with us today from a very grounded perspective, a whole different, well, I think it'll be very familiar to a lot of you, so I'm not going to say any more, but I'd love to welcome Penny Peirce.
You know, I think we're connected because, you know, when I hugged Darlene this morning, my necklace got caught on her sweater. We couldn't get apart. Anyway, I want to talk to you today mainly about what I sense is happening in the world. Because I'm in the habit of reading the undercurrents, like looking at the energy and consciousness world and see what do I sense is happening there, and then how does that correlate with what's happening in the outside world. And there are trends, you know, things are progressing. There's an evolutionary process going on. And so I want to talk to you about how we can best handle that and stay aware of it, actually. But first, I just want to give you a little quick synopsis of how I got to where I am. Because I started off as a designer, as an interior designer first, and then a graphic designer and corporate art director for a large company. And then I started to open up with my intuition. I actually took classes on clairvoyance development. I mean, who would have thought that was even possible? But I had been visual, so I could do logos for people, and that was intuitive, you know. So that taught me a lot. Then, after that, I decided to come out to California, and I went to Cal Arts down in LA, which had an experimental program called social design, which was, they took regular designers like, you know, urban planners and so forth, industrial designers, combined them with psychologists and sociologists. So we did stuff like redesign the elevator so people will talk to each other inside, or redesign the doctor-patient relationship, redesign the funeral. So that required you to like feel into what was going on in that pattern and then see what was the old way, what might be a new way, and how could we, you know, change the inner so that the outer form could change. So that really trained me a lot in intuition development. And I then started working with a group in San Francisco called the Center for Applied Intuition. That was run by a man from Stanford Research Institute who was a mathematician scientist who thought that you could use intuition to solve complex problems. And he invented a kind of process called intuitive consensus, where he would take a set of questions, give them to like half a dozen intuitives, get readings on those questions, then find the common elements. He'd put all them together, find the common elements, make a report out of it, and sell it to Silicon Valley companies. So we were pretty grounded. You know, we were using it not in the new age woo-woo stuff, but we were like pretty practical and down to earth with things. And then I ended up going to Japan and working there on and off every year for 20 years or so. So that was another big development. But I did a lot of readings all through that time, and I noticed that everything seemed to always be accelerating. Do you know that the problems people were having were getting worse and bigger and more accelerated? And so I kept watching that over year after year after year and thinking, what is going on here? So I started to look under the surface, and I started to get a sense about that we were actually going through a transformation process, that it wasn't, you know, by accident, you know. And I do think that transformation is different than change. Change is if you have like a tabletop and a bunch of objects on it, and you rearrange those objects. The objects are still there, they're just in a different form, but nothing really is that different. But transformation is like maybe where the objects might just dissolve into their etheric form or something, you know, but I think of it sometimes like, you know, you have a point, and if you put a bunch of dots together, they form a line. That's a transformation from one reality to a whole other one. Then if you put a bunch of lines together, you get a plane. That's a transformation. You put a bunch of planes together, you get a cube. That's a transformation. Now we're at a point where we've been in the cubic reality, the three-dimensional reality, for a long time. We know how it works. We have belief systems about how it works. But we're poised at this time now where we're about to jump from the cubic reality into something new. So what is that? You know, and I think it's a spherical reality. Well, we're not going to do all of that today, of course, but my book, Leap of Perception, talks a lot about this. But it's like we have come through like the industrial age. That was, you know, that was very much focused on body. It's in the physical plane. It's mechanical processes that go one step at a time and build, and it's kind of slow. Everything's sort of sluggish. But we got the printing press out of that. We got the computer eventually out of that. And that accelerated the industrial age, which was all about body, to the point where we leaped into the information age, which is all about mind. And now we have so much knowledge, so much information, so much access to whatever we want. We can't process it in the same way we used to do it in the industrial age. That step-by-step, bite-by-bite, linear way of doing things. And we're overloaded. We're in overwhelm, which is the sign. It's kind of like the energy's building, you know, and we're about ready to make that leap. But that's the magical thing, you know. That's what we're all, I am fascinated with that. So we're about to move from that left brain dominated information age into the right brain of the intuition age, which is spirit. So we were going body, mind, spirit. We are evolving. Now we don't lose the first two. You know, we still have our reptile brain and our midbrain, and you don't lose it. We still have all those kinds of consciousness, but we're adding on and synthesizing into a new thing. So reality is actually changing now as we, bit by bit, learn what that new intuition age is all about. And that's what I want to talk about a bit, is like, how do you recognize that? Because part of it is that the energy on the planet has actually been accelerating for quite a long time. It caused that in industrial to information to intuition progression. But also, there's a physical reason for it. You know, we have something called the Schumann resonance. I don't know, have you heard of that? It's the actual vibration of the Earth, but it's like a resonance between the center of the Earth and the ionosphere. For many, many, many years, it was very stable, around 7.83, I believe. And it was so stable that that was the frequency that people went to meditate, so that they would align themselves with the energy of the Earth and be in tune. But in the last 20 years or so, it's been going up. And it now is at least around 15 to 20 averaging. And yet, I think right around the end of March and early April, it spiked to over 100. And then it's been going up and down a lot into the 50s and hundreds and stuff since then. And they say sometimes sunspots may affect it and things like that. But when those spikes happen, we feel it. We get hyperactive. We get like, whoa, I've got to match myself now suddenly to the new energy of the Earth, and try to, be in harmony with that. And we don't realize that that's what's happening to us, that our bodies are made of Earth. So of course we need to adjust ourselves. Of course, if you're caught in old belief systems and old thinking and old habits and addictions or whatever, you don't notice that this is what you're supposed to do, and you hold yourself back into those old, slower patterns. So then we suffer. It's difficult. So I would like us to be able to understand the symptoms of this acceleration so that we can recognize them right away and learn to adapt ourselves so that we become fluid, and that energy can flow through us, and we can just, be our new next level of ourselves, So I wanted to give you a couple of the symptoms of the way this acceleration is affecting us. In the beginning, because when the energy of the body goes up, you get irritated and you vibrate faster. And often what happens is you get hot. There are often a feeling of overheating, of being too electrical, of being too stimulated, and rashes, fevers. Also, your heart may pound for a while, and you won't know why. It just feels like I'm just, it's like almost like a panic thing sometimes. You may get hyperactive, literally. You may have very erratic behavior or releases of energy that you can't control. What else? Impatience and irritability, not able to relax and fall asleep. And more extreme consciousness happens. You get more polarized. And you notice this in society too, that you get everything that was just a little bit opposed now becomes really widely opposed. And you get locked into opposing the other side. So we get a higher negative emotion over that. But emotion increases a lot at that time too. We become ultra sensitive. The body is raising up. It's like suddenly you're aware, hey, I'm not just a solid object. I'm made of energy and consciousness. And that shifts and fluctuates all the time. And everybody else is energy and consciousness. And so everything's faster, right? The whole thing, we're faster sense of our own bodies. So then we pick up more information, stuff that we didn't notice before because we were too slow. Now we're picking up, oh, that person's in a bad mood, or that person's sick, or this event is about to happen. What was it you said before 9/11? They spiked they had measured it, and right before it happened, the energy went way up. Yeah. So we feel events coming, So anyway, that ultrasensitivity is causing us to be highly empathic, and then that empathy makes you feel overwhelmed, like it's hard to function. How do I process it all? So that helps us learn to be in the present moment, actually, but basically we're overwhelmed, and that overwhelm then will cause us often to feel drained. We don't want to deal with it. We pull away, we want to sleep, we get depressed, we get disoriented and distracted. Great way to deal with it is just distract yourself with like a cell phone or something. And then we want instant gratification because things are happening so fast. I want it now, Well, then we have things like insomnia, kind of malfunctions of the body that are based on overactivity. And that can be even things like cancer. It can be ADHD, kind of a sense of nerve disorders and things like that. And there is often a kind of a retreat into either logic to like make sense of the world and define everything, or into fantasies, like kind of leave and just play, and I'm not going to deal with it. So there's all these symptoms. But how do we deal with it? How do we adapt ourselves to it? And I think that part of it is regulating your own frequency, because we all have what I call your home frequency. It's the vibration that is your soul in your body that you've had in all your lifetimes, if you believe in that, but it's the light in a baby's eyes. It's that original tone. And it never changes. It's the real you. But when you're looking at the outside world all the time and thinking there is an outside world, you and that, then what happens is you feel like you have to match the frequencies of other people in order to be safe. So we do this, we are frequency matching with anybody we're around, and if they're of a lower vibration, we'll drop our frequency. And then we don't feel good after that, And it's also good to match other people's higher vibrations, but it's still not necessarily your own. So during a day, you may go up and down and all kinds of people in different situations and rooms and buildings and lighting and things that will cause you to adapt to all these situations. So we want to be able to feel the home frequency, and I always think of that as a kind of a state of, it's your preferred state. It's the way you like to feel when you're feeling really good and you like yourself and you're willing to laugh and you're feeling pleasure. And you're creative and so forth. But everybody has their own way of getting into it and recognizing it. So I want to do a meditation with you now that will help you find your home frequency. So if you'll uncross your legs and feet flat on the floor. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, take a nice easy breath. Just no forcefulness at all. Just let it come all the way in, go down to the bottom of your lungs. Even feel your belly expanding a little bit. And then let your muscles push that air back out again, all the way out to the end. And let your breath turn like a figure eight and just kind of flow back in. Real easy. And your body will take over because it knows how to do this. So I'd like you to imagine that behind you is a nice, clear, open space. And out of that clear space appears your diamond light body. So this is like your highest frequency energy body. It has no blockages. It is your ideal form. It's totally glossy and transparent, very loving, fresh and clean. And imagine now that your diamond light self puts its hands on your shoulders. And as it does, you may feel your ability to adjust to that frequency. You can just feel it, and it might feel really good, very natural. As you start to adapt a little bit to it, your diamond light self can now step inside your body from behind or slide in very easily. with no resistance, and totally take up the full space of your body. The diamond light self has diamond light brain in it and a diamond light heart, and they're going to match up with your physical parts. So just imagine now that your diamond light brain goes into your physical brain, and your diamond light heart matches up with your physical heart, and your diamond light eyes with your physical eyes, and your diamond light vocal cords with your physical vocal cords, and so forth. All your organs have diamond light counterparts. And these counterparts know how to function perfectly. They do not have fear or blockages or shadows or anything. They have the perfect inner blueprint of how to be healthy, how to be harmonious. You have diamond light bones, diamond light blood. Even in the cells, there are little tiny diamond light particles of light that fill up each cell. And as you let this happen, you may say to your diamond light self, you know, I don't really know what I'm doing, really, but you do. And so please help me. Please guide me. Please help heal me or return me to my natural harmonious state, who I really am. Let me feel that. And just relax and fall into your diamond light self. Give over to it and trust it, because it's you. As you fall into it, you may start to realize that, oh, wait a minute, I am this diamond light self, and I'm here now. I'm finally here all the way. And I know what I'm doing. I'm making this body. I'm making this personality. I'm making this lifetime. And it's really no effort at all for you, the diamond light self, to communicate vibrationally and telepathically with all the little parts of your body and your brain cells. And if it needs to dissolve some old patterns, it will. If it wants to help create new brain tracks, it will. You can trust it. So I'd like you to take a kind of mental snapshot of the way this state feels to you. There's no effort involved in this state. Everything's working perfectly. There's a kind of an inner grace involved. Because you can return to this state anytime you want. You can do it the way we did it, by walking through these states. And after you've done it a few times, you may be able to just almost think of it and return to the feeling of it. Just snap, and there you are. But first, get a feeling state so that you can remember, have vibrational memory about the way this feels. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back. Great. So you can just stay in that state. And I'd like to move on and talk to you a little bit about the actual phases of the transformation process, because I've worked with this for quite a while, and there actually are stages to it. You know, it's not some random thing. As the acceleration gets going, we already talked about this, but it raises the vibration of the body and the physical plane in such a way that what used to be feeling separate between the spiritual realm or the non-physical and the physical, it always seemed like there was such a gap, like heaven's out there, you know, that now the physical vibration of the earth is rising, and it's closer and closer and closer into the spiritual vibration, so there's a lot of bleed through starts to happen. We start to feel that, And we feel this yearning. That's what, even 10, 15, 20 years ago, people were just, I want to read about near-death experiences. I want to read about angels. They're yearning for knowledge about these higher things. And that's where we're pulling in and matching these vibrations. We're merging. That continues. And I think now we're at a point where we're realizing, wait a minute, the spirit is actually in the physical world. The physical world is the spiritual world. We're not waiting for some heaven somewhere. It's right now. That is what's happening. We're merging the two worlds. And that then starts to make reality function differently. What happens next, after we start to get this realization, because the body energy rises, the emotional body energy accelerates as well, the mental body. So your emotions, your mind, they all start to get overactive. So that means it can free up both positive and negative emotion, both positive and negative thoughts. Anything that has been at a lower level now becomes conscious. And so this next phase is it's like opening Pandora's box. It's the freeing of all the things, especially fear-based things, that before you used to be able to say, oh, I don't want to have to deal with that, and suppress it and put it in your subconscious mind. I don't have to think about that anymore. That didn't happen to me, Okay, well, that was able to be done before because the vibration on the planet was lower. But now, even the vibration of the subconscious mind has gone up. So all those fears that were in there, they can't stay stored there anymore. And so what happens? They start popping up to the surface like bubbles, out of the deep, or popcorn or something. And where do they come? Up into your conscious mind, which is your daily reality. So then what happens? So then you start having an experience that's like a repeat of an old thing that happened to you in childhood or something. And you thought you had gotten rid of that. Well, here it is again. So we're dealing with the facing of our old fears. And there are many ways we can go in and work with clearing those simply by understanding how they got stuck in the first place, that we didn't see things fully. We had a partial perception about whatever it was that had happened. But when that all comes up, it comes up individually. So everybody's stuff is coming up individually. Now, some of our stuff matches some of the other people's stuff. And so then we, get at it with each other, and get upset and all these things. So then we get more violence and more upsets and more polarization. But also it's coming up societally, culturally, nationally, internationally, so that we're having collective subconscious releases. And we see it in the news. It's the current events is the conscious mind of the country. So we see that. So kind of in this phase, which is what we're in, is very confusing. And we have a lot of resistance to it. So the next phase of this process is we try to resuppress everything. We don't want to feel that again, no. So we'll, try another mechanism to try to get rid of it. And those mechanisms are they're based on the adrenal glands of fight or flight. So, and I have them all listed in one of my books, I think. Fight methodologies would be to be controlling, to be dominating, to be narcissistic, to drive big SUVs or be strong and not let anybody know you have any vulnerabilities and that sort of thing. And to be in the flight modality, you just leave your body. You give up control. You act like a victim. You give your authority to someone else, and hide or something. So that's the brief one. But there's many, many methodologies that we use to resuppress. But of course, you can't hold back the water behind the dam, because this is accelerating, and it is going to come through. So at a certain point, you can't keep resuppressing. You have breakthroughs. And things start to break down, basically. And so old structures are breaking down, societal structures. Things don't work that used to work for you. And then, of course, you get disillusioned. Nothing's working for me anymore, and I don't know what to do. And the disillusionment actually is pretty positive because you have to get rid of your old illusions in order to be free to see how the new thing is really going to work, which is going to be better than the old way. So we go through that, but we resist the disillusionment by getting depressed or, having addictions or whatever it would be to distract ourselves from that bad feeling of disillusionment. But anyway, we eventually reach a point where we can't do anymore and we give up. And this is the important turning point, where you enter liminal space, which is the threshold between two realities, where nothing really is happening for your left brain. You can't figure it out. You just have to be and be with. And it's like a fruit getting ripe. You don't try to pick the fruit too early. You let it ripen to its fullest extent and it falls off the tree on its own. You can't force this state. But you're out in the imaginal realm, repurposing, repatterning yourself, and it's all sort of invisible. But the body is resting. And you're getting rid of old ideas during that time. It's very important that you do it properly and fully, because then you reemerge like the phoenix out of the pyre, and now you're new and you understand the new principles. And then the next phase is you start to see how relationships are changing, families are changing, business is changing, so forth. Politics is changing. And reality will shift to match this new kind of consciousness that's coming, which is the spherical reality. All right, so I'm leaving you with that, but I want to read you a little passage from my book Frequency to end here. I wish I had another 15 minutes, but that's good. This is a part I put at the end of every chapter in my book Frequency that I wrote from a kind of altered state, slightly different. It wasn't the didactic kind of writing from the previous part of the chapter. So if you would close your eyes and while you listen to this, because it's slower and you have to feel into, each word really carries energy. So this is called Start by Being Present. Just be right here, right now. Listen for the quiet and feel the relief. There is nowhere else, nowhere to go, nothing to do. You are surrounded by openness, and in that space is pure awareness. It seeps through you. It saturates you. It is your own refined presence, your next level of self, the presence of the divine. The awareness contains everything you've ever known or been and will be, and everything everyone else has been and is and will be. You are centered now in the open heart of love, in a vast field of truth. Here, you are real. Here, you are continually being born. There's nothing you have to do. Feel how the all-knowing, all-loving, all-supporting awareness has you. It has you. It will never abandon you. You are safe. Here, you have unlimited energy and imagination. If thoughts occur, you don't own them. You're just becoming aware of things floating around. And if they seem interesting, you stop them for a while. You can identify with them, or you can let them go, or you can add energy into them and shape them, and then let them go as forms. There's no right thing to do. It's just creativity. It's just fun. It's just your soul expressing itself. So be in the moment and be soft. Let realities come and go. Your energy and awareness radiate through and beyond your skin, out, and you don't end. You just discover different types and patterns of knowing. As you include these in yourself and blend with them, You experience yourself in new ways. You are in all things, and all things are in you. And whatever wants to be known or created simply appears in you as an idea or expresses through you as an act. You can't make it happen. It's happening. Now, when you leave this experience of the moment, you will feel separate from the rest of life. And you will be sad because you will miss yourself. You will miss the experience of your own soul expressing through your body, enlightening and enlivening your body and making it happy, just happy to be. You will not see the self you love in others either, and you will suffer. Meanwhile, in the center of everything, in the center of the awareness that runs through the world, there is always what you're looking for. There is your answer to everything freely given, waiting for you to fall back into it. In this moment, the answer. In this moment, the just right answer for you, right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you rub your hands together? Penny, I want to thank you for coming here and for the work that you're doing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the divinity in you. Thank you so much. She'll be back with us at 1:30 this afternoon. I think it's so fitting. I visualize that diamond light when we can sing this time. Join us. I am light.
I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light.
Sing it one more time.
I am light. I am light.
I am light. You feel like at least you're not going, I'm not going crazy, I'm just waking up. How many of you can feel that acceleration she's talking about? Yeah. What is it called again? The Schumann effect. You can
Resonance.
Schumann resonance. You can actually go online and scientists measure it every day. You can see it and see when it's spiking. So again, you're not going crazy. You're just waking up. So Penny, thank you for that. Again, she'll be back with us this afternoon at 1:30. This is the time where we transition. I'll invite our ushers to come forward, and if you would like to share of your gifts, we take this opportunity to think about what we're committing to be here for, to truly be a place that heals any case of mistaken identity, starting within our own being, within our own self, that perception as she is talking about. So as our ushers are coming forward, we hold these gifts of tithe and offering in our hands. I think Vern might need some help. Oh, there she comes. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. I am now in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Could live forever then melt into the sun. Time is gonna change you once you get in and get it on the run. Oh yeah. There will be a light. 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 I've been running ever since I was a child. Call it free. Some call it free, yeah. And some they call it wild. Oh, there will be a light. There will be a light. Oh, say there will be a light. There will be a light. Let the warmth of my love dry away all your tears. Fear not, for I am with you. I will fear not, I will be there. Ooh, there will be a light. There will be a light.
Stand up and sing it with us.
There will be a light. There will be a light. Sing it loud, yeah. There will be a light. There will be a light. Sing it long, sing it strong, sing it all night long. There will be a light. Sing it with me now. There will be a light. There will be a light. Yeah.
Thank you, Kat, for always bringing the light, and thank you to this wonderful Unity Band that we get to enjoy week after week. And as our ushers come forward, we also have our prayer chaplain, Tom, and Steve representing our volunteer sacred service that we do at this church. And it's a reminder that this prayer box sits at the back of the sanctuary. You're always welcome to put your prayer request in, and they'll be held all week by our prayer chaplains. We also have prayer chaplains out in our prayer chapel, which is through the multi-purpose room every week to pray with you. And so let's bless all of these ways of giving.
In gratitude, we bless the resources that flow through our lives and through our Unity Center, the gift of prayer and our sacred connection, our capacity to serve and make a difference with our lives. And together we affirm, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God enables us, the presence of God abides with us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And All is well, and we are here, so God is here. And God is especially present today in anyone who is born in July. This is last Sunday of the month, so we want to celebrate you if you were born in July. So come on up. And we have a special birthday today among all the other birthdays. Our very own Rev Darlene. All of the babies. And she's today, a select is coming from the back booth. Her birthday's today. Rev Darlene's birthday is tomorrow. And we have a birthday cake generously provided by Susie for Darlene and all of the birthday babies today. We started it after the first service, but there's still plenty. So go out and enjoy some birthday. As we sing ourselves, we sing to them, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you are wonderful. Happy birthday to you.
All you July people, stay here, stay here. Well, you can go be a prayer chaplain, that's okay. As we sing ourselves out in the peace that we all want to see in the world.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with thee. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, brothers and sisters are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
You.